Welcome to Everything is Lit, where we treat anything and everything like literature and dissect it. So, the Joker sequel has people talking, and not in a good way. It bombed in box offices and is quickly becoming a meme of poor ratings and empty theaters. The film allegedly performed worse than Morbius, lost Warner Brothers about $125 million, and scored a D on CinemaScore's scale, the lowest grade a comic book film has ever received. Wikipedia's analysis of the film's themes provides a great explanation as to just how the film got it so wrong. The film is a work of metafiction designed to intentionally antagonize audiences who were fans of the first film. The film serves to rebuke those who idolized the character of the Joker after the original movie. Ultimately, the metafiction reflects Arthur's characterization. Just as his society only cares for him for what he represents as the Joker and rejects him when he renounces that persona, so too does the audience reject Arthur. As a result, many felt the film to be a very expensive punchline for the same audiences who saw the first film. Wow. So essentially, Joker 2's goal was to disappoint the audiences who eagerly awaited more of the cynical and satirical action from the first film, and boy did it succeed. Well, feelings about the sequel aside, I want to call your attention to a specific part of the movie, a specific character. Young inmate. Seriously, that's what he is credited as in the film. Throughout the film, he is shown in the background watching Arthur slip into his Joker persona with rapt attention. During Arthur's big moment in the courthouse, this prisoner is practically glued to the screen, showing almost as much devotion as Lee does. But he has no lines and never directly interacts with Arthur until the very end of the film. The conclusion of Joker 2 has this nameless character tell Arthur a joke and end it by fatally stabbing him. As Arthur lies bleeding on the floor, this prisoner laughs and, though the background blurs, we can see him bring the weapon to his own face to carve a smile. It's a bleak ending, but it's also ironic. Recall that the first film ended with a similar setup. Arthur starts a joke whose punchline results in shooting Murray Franklin on live television. Here, the nameless assailant does the same thing to the best of his ability. He's emulating Arthur, trying to be just like him. He laughs as Arthur bleeds out because it's supposed to be a joke. He even sought Arthur out because he wanted Arthur's approval for said joke. This guy wants to be Joker too. In fact, given the Glasgow smile we see the man give himself, we may even know which Joker he becomes. None other than the Dark Knight's Joker.
And here we go.
Think about it. Arthur's Joker became a symbol of struggle of the working class and the marginalized. People clung to that image because finally someone was telling the truth. Finally someone was standing up to the bullies. To those people, Joker is a hero. In The Dark Knight, we see a very similar power struggle. The film theorist does a good job explaining this, but to summarize, that film's Joker enters the organized crime arena and forces the mafia bosses to pay him to stop the Batman, and then he burns their money to send a message. It's not about becoming rich and powerful, it's about severing the control that this ruling class had over Gotham, something that neither Batman nor GCPD, nor even District Attorney Harvey Dent could do. Could this complex plan have been inspired by Joker witnessing Arthur do something similar by sheer chance decades earlier? And here's a fun tidbit. Arthur's musical number, The Joker, starts with the lyric, "There's always a Joker in the pack." But here's the thing. Standard decks contain more than one Joker, usually two. Many card games designate the Joker cards as wild or trump cards, meaning that they have special abilities in the game that are unpredictable or more powerful than the other cards. And some games, like Spades, go further, designating one as the big Joker and the other as a less powerful small Joker. So by comparing himself to the Joker in a deck of cards, Arthur coincidentally implies the presence of another Joker. Hopefully I've convinced you, or at least given you something to chew on. Either way, the role that young inmate plays in the film casts an interesting light on the title of the film. Folie à deux translates from French literally as madness of two. It refers to a psychiatric disorder called shared delusional disorder or shared psychosis, in which a delusional belief is seemingly passed from one person to another in a close relationship. The obvious allusion here is to Arthur and Lee, who become friends and then romantic partners devoted to the Joker persona and this goal of building a mountain, something I assume to mean a safe space for them to live out their delusion. But throwing the inmate into the mix yields two more possibilities. He and Arthur both share this delusion of a Joker persona that they can use like an alter ego, and they both lived in close proximity to one another in Arkham. The delusion quite literally passed from Arthur to the inmate. And both the inmate and Lee share an excessive devotion to the Joker persona. Could that obsession one day draw these two characters together? Could they perhaps become the duo we expected to see? The true rendition of Joker and Harley Quinn? Maybe. So, love it or hate it, Joker 2 played with some interesting themes that continue the meta-commentary from the first film about what Joker symbolizes. In the end, the punchline is the same. We live in a society. My first video after a long time, and I spent it talking about the most anticipated and most disappointing film of the year. Go figure. Then again, there's still time for something to surprise us, so don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can be the first to know when a new episode is posted. And as always, stay lit.